Are you looking to try and up the quality of your golf YouTube video content? Then look no further, because I'm going to show you how you can easily color grade within Premiere Pro. So let's dive straight into it. Now, all I will say before we get started is it does very much depend on how you're filming, what camera you're filming with, and what profile you're filming in. So for example, I'm filming on a Sony a7S III. All this golf content here was filmed by me on my a7S III. And I filmed in S-Log3, which is essentially like a raw profile. The colors aren't already sort of baked into the video. This is great because it allows me the flexibility to then add these colors in within the editing software and tweak them to get them to how I like them to look. If you're shooting with a Sony, a Canon, these cameras should give you options to film in a flat picture profile such as an S-Log3 or a Canon log picture profile. So just bear that in mind when you're filming. So here's some clips on a timeline that I'm now going to show you how I've color graded these. So if we take a look at this shot, for example, you can see it's raw and there's not much color in the shot. So first of all, I want to go to Lumetri scopes up here, and there's an option here if you right click to add a vector scope. So you should have the waveform and the vector scope. Now the waveform, you can see there's different lines here, and generally speaking the lines towards the top are indicating how much white is in the video, and the line towards the bottom is how much black is in the video. And you'd like an even balance of these because that helps to demonstrate contrast in your video, which is important because that's going to make your video stand out and maybe your subject from the background if there's some nice contrast there. You'll see that you head over to the Lumetri color panel on the right hand side and you've got some options down here. So first of all, I'm going to adjust my whites. So just slide it across. And I don't want that line getting too near the top because then it's, you know that it's blown out essentially and overexposed, so too bright. But there looks good. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the blacks. So I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to bring this all the way down. You can bring it down even further. So that's looking good. And then what we can also do is, just like in real life, we will see shadows with our eyes. So we want this image to emulate that. So I'm going to bring the shadows down. You can see the trees just getting a bit darker. Don't want it too dark because it just really crushes the image, but I'm going to bring the shadows down to about there. And then that's not looking too bad, but we need to add some color. So I'm just going to go to my saturation slider here and bring this across. Now you'll notice in this other image here, the vector scope, you've got some like a color map here in the middle. And then you've got the colors on the outside. So this starts to move the more you up the saturation. And I like to use it as a reference because I feel like if I slide it too far, then this color map goes a bit crazy. And I generally wouldn't recommend being any further than where this is right now because it does start to look too oversaturated. But that for me is about bang on how I like my saturation. So it's not, I like my footage to look like real life. So trying to get it as natural as possible. So that looks good to me. And that clip, we can also add in some contrast. That's looking nice. You can just see the trousers and the shoes, everything just starts to pop that bit more, so that's looking great. Something you can also do is add what's called a vignette. So that's further down the right hand side. And if you add an adjustment layer, which is if you hit new item and then adjustment layer, you can drag that over the top of all your clips. And then you add a vignette onto here. And as you can see, it's just added a darker circle on the outside of this frame. And that I think is brilliant because it just helps bring your eyes in to the center of the frame. So you can see the before and after just makes it look really awesome in my opinion. Okay, so that's that clip. Let's have a look at another clip, shall we? So I've got another one here, and you can just copy and paste on to the other clip the colors. However, it's not necessarily going to look right on every single clip. As you can see, we've copied and pasted those on, but the whites are looking too bright, and you can see from the graph on the left hand side it's all like at the very highest point, so it's clearly overexposed, as you can tell. So I'm not going to copy and paste, I'm going to remove that, and I'm just going to use my eye again. So similar kind of structure, so I'm going to bring my blacks right down, I'm going to bring my shadows down, I'm going to add some contrast in to balance out the image, make our subject Michael from Driven. Pop that a bit more. I'm going to add saturation in. Michael's got an app called Driven Golf and Fitness. It's excellent for all your training needs for golf, helping you to get fit. So do check that out. Can't recommend it enough. Okay, so how's this image looking? Not bad. I think the blacks can be a bit darker, so I'm just going to increase that and up the contrast more. Bring the shadows down a bit more. And there's room to increase the saturation a little bit as well. Just one big tip I would say is just keep an eye on people's skin tones, because you don't want them to look too pink or too green or too orange. So just bear that in mind, keep checking the face. Okay, and that's looking good. And then they should look fairly similar. So let's play them back. Yeah, looking good. Okay, I'll just do one last clip. Let's choose, what other clips we got here? Let's choose this one. I like this frame. So I'm gonna up saturation, up the contrast. Now these things, once you get used to it, you will be able to do a clip in a very short period of time. Just always referencing your waveform and your vector scope. Push those whites up. Gonna bring the shadows down a bit more. You can see it's not as saturated as that first clip, so I'm just gonna up that saturation more. That's looking better. Yeah, that looks good. One thing you can do as well, guys, is if you go into curves, you've got these settings here that you can play around with. So you've got like an eyedrop tool here, which if you click on it and then click on an area, it then highlights the colors selected. So you can then play around with this. So if you up it, you can see that the yellows really start to get too saturated. So I'm going to keep that about as it already was, but if I go onto the greens, I can maybe make the greens stand out a bit more, or make them darker. As you see, if you look into the bush, you can see that that has now really changed colour. So you do want things to look natural. Up saturation a bit. Okay. Yeah, that's looking good. A bit more contrast. There you go. So if we look at the before and then after, you can see a huge difference. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your feedback. You know, people get paid to color grade every single day, and they are true experts. And there's other softwares you can use like DaVinci Resolve. I've always liked Premiere Pro and it works for me, so that's my workflow. But yeah, if you've got any questions, then do let me know in the comments. I hope this has helped you improve your golf videography for your YouTube channels. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.